And we are live, I think.
Think
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just got
Just
notification.
make, yeah.
I got notification. We're all good.
Make sure my YouTube page is muted.
That's what I was just doing as well. I do it on the TV and on the YouTube bit, so all good.
Uh, 1 minute, let me just get my chat up in here so I can see what's happening. Into the break. So yeah, how you doing into the break?
Oh, I've just got my top chat.
Oh, that's just reminding me. So I promised to shout out to Bill Nye the Science Denier who won me 700th sub. Much appreciated.
Fair
And
play.
thank you, mate. Hey Paula, how's it going? We'll just hang around and see who turns up for a bit.
All right, Paula. Good to see you. And into the break. I forgot to say hello.
Post.
Richie G.
Post. Post link if Into the Break wants to join. I don't know if he does. I've got my camera in a better position this week and all because last week it looked like I was slipping off screen.
Well, like I said, we were checking out the delay, but now we've gone live. The delay is not.
Hey, Rebel, we're all
good.
Anybody wants to join? Links in chat. We'll just still 5 minutes just waffling. See while we get a few more people to come in. Having a bit. I were going to can talking about space because I saw that Dave Weiss had another debate with that. That Andrew Gold guy who sort of moderating when he had that Professor Dave debate.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like Andrew Gold, but he had a debate with him, like, so we're going to cover that, like, but we'll leave it for on Flats, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's something Flats would definitely like to do. You know what Flats is like when it comes to covering them things. He'll pick him apart, won't he? he got so excited over the Whitsitt thing, didn't he?
Yeah, I watched about 10 minutes, and it's your usual waffle, like. What's going off on the other side of Ice Wall seems to be the biggest thing that they push on.
It's as much speculation as it is about space, isn't it? So, we're back. It's back to the same thing, isn't it? Again, guessing, assumptions, and supposedly, possibly, and it's just.
I mean, I don't doubt that there's got to be some kind of boundary, like.
Of course,
makes sense that it could well be an ice wall, but speculation, like you say.
And what's off at the other side of it is just the same as saying what's going on up there. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Same thing. I don't know why I looked up. I looked up because I thought I'd seen something up there.
Well, another couple of minutes and then we'll start looking at a few things. I mean, we're thumbnail. We're talking about space. Fact that it's fake as it's presented. But I just thought we'll just look at a few things.
It certainly is fake. There's no doubt about it, is there, nowadays? No doubt. I mean, even when the moon landings first came, well, when it was allegedly happened, there was people that were really like dubious about it back then, wasn't there? Because of what was going on with the space race and all that. So, yeah, it's always got to have been doubted, and there's no wonder why. You know what I mean? There's no wonder why.
Oh, I'm not being funny. There's enough. NASA fails. Do you know what I mean? I've seen enough of that to know, like, come on, something's afoot. You know what I mean? If they're really going there, why all fakery? Do you know what I mean?
Your background's looking really good. I wonder what's going on, man. I can't get it fixed. I wonder if it'll be all right in the new computer when I set that up.
I've got camera the other day and I just sat it on top. You know what I mean? I've not moved it all out. And then when I've clicked camera on today,
it's fine.
That's in the right position. Do you know what I mean?
Proper. That's maybe what it is, finding the right position in that.
Yeah.
Change avatar, name, video settings. What is that one?
What do you think to space background?
It's cool. It's very milk chocolate.
Looks like somebody's you know, can you remember when at school like you put paint on water and mix it all up and then you like bubble it up with a straw?
That's cool.
And make print on paper. Reminds me of that.
I like it.
I got this book. I don't know if I can find it at a minute, if I can put my hands on it, like, but there's this supposed picture Milky Way galaxy. I mean, what's been at a galaxy to photograph it? That's the first issue, and it just looks like somebody's got a paintbrush and flick loads of white paint on it. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, no, it's certainly not brilliant, my one.
Flickering a lot. I think it's something to do with Bob Marley back on you.
Yeah, I think it is as well. It's one set, but that wall's getting painted in the next couple of months. So, oh no, wallpaper on that wall, and then the rest getting painted. Got some pictures and that to go up. Some nice pictures.
That said he might pop in, but obviously it looks like he's not gonna.
Maybe fell asleep.
But yeah, so space is fake. Why do we think it's fake? Well, I'm going to share this. We've all seen it 1,000 times, but maybe somebody who's watching hasn't seen it. So we'll have a little butcher's hook.
A butcher's hook. I haven't had the whole thing in a little while. It's usually just a butcher's, isn't it? Butcher's hook.
Butcher's hook.
Yeah, man.
It's a nightmare sharing my files. Can you see that, PJ?
With the call.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
No, but
Right, ready. Now listen, everybody needs to listen. Listen to his wordings.
Well, there are the three laws of thermodynamics, very simply expressed. Now let us look at some.
Can you hear volume?
Yeah, it could be done with going a bit louder if possible. I don't know. Oh, you can. I can deal with it. I'm just saying about them in chat, maybe.
Can anybody in chat tell me whether they can hear it good enough? If there's anybody in chat.
Yeah, we got a couple of people in chat. We've got in chat.
There's no point playing it though if nobody can hear it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Bit low, Richard said, but
a bit low. I can't. That's my full system volume, like. Hold on, let me just check.
Michael's gone. Michael's off.
So you just have to deal with it. Most people have seen it anyway. How's it going, Richard? You all right, mate? So yeah, listen to what he says.
Examples of spontaneous changes.
So that's spontaneous changes.
Yeah.
And see how they are accounted for in terms of the second law of thermodynamics. We'll take the
second law of thermodynamics
first, and look at changes where only the entropy changes.
Only entropy.
Now, one, perhaps the simplest of all of these, is the expansion of a gas into a vacuum.
The expansion of a gas into a vacuum.
I have in one of these bulbs some bromine, and in the other I have a vacuum. And if I open the tap.
So now this is see this bit in the middle, this valve. This is your barrier. So you've got a vacuum, you've got gas, you've got a physical barrier in between.
Between these two, you will see spontaneously the bromine rush from one to the other. Now,
so as soon as you open that valve, you remove the barrier, that gas expands spontaneously into the vacuum. And this is why we say space is fake. Now, you're going to get ballers denying it, you know, they try and tell you that 1 minute. They'll try and tell you that it goes from 14.7 psi and it's just a gradual gradient until you get into a vacuum, which is it's bunkum like.
That's right.
You know, I mean, there's no such thing as a vacuum in nature anyway, for a start.
Never.
So
No, I doubt
this is why we say space is fake.
Yeah, nature abhors a vacuum. It's found nowhere. Nothing like it. Anything like it has to be man-made, and they can't get a full-on vacuum. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
just ridiculous.
And just like you need containment for gas pressure, you need containment for vacuum.
Vacuum. Yeah.
Just give me 1 second, PJ.
Mhm.
I'll ask password putting in it laptop.
That's all right. We got ruins globe, yeah, man. Absolutely ruins the globe just like that. With a flick of a little valve switch, gone. Globe gone. R.I.P. But it doesn't though. We know the globe's dead, but like I always say, it doesn't rest in peace. It's about time.
There's never been a globe to die, really, has there? You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's it. That's
It's
true.
just a bunkum story, like.
That's right.
But I want to look at a bit of history behind this so-called space race. I want to start with a guy called Jack Parsons.
Okay. All right, we got a
Ring pressure.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, Fat Zoid?
Thought I'll pop in for a few minutes.
Well, that best voice you could give us.
And no, come on, bro. You did better when you did better when you went into flat earth debating, did it?
Hello.
Ring pressure. I have ring pressure every morning.
I want to say a rising pressure, but ring pressure was fine.
Yeah, no, ring pressure.
I get ring pressure every morning.
I get ring pressure every day. She wants another engagement ring. That's the only ring pressure I get.
I just showed that entropy demonstration again, Fat Zoid, because if you listen to wording, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so clear. And like Phil Bell were telling us, like, they seem to try and think that you can go from 14.7 psi at sea level, and it's a gradient up into a vacuum, which is absolutely ridiculous to think.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, I had Phil Bell today, me and TB, where he says denying the Kármán line. He says there's no boundary between Earth and space. So they're literally throwing away the heliocentric model for space. He says space doesn't begin.
Well, there's how many different variations where Kármán line starts? Do you know what I mean? I've heard him say it starts at sea level.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, Phil Bell's not one of the.
But this is, this is rhetoric to keep that space dream alive. You know, I mean.
Well, the same as like the moon is now in the Earth's atmosphere to a certain extent. Do you know what I mean?
You can't radiate into a vacuum. It don't make sense. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You've got to make a vacuum changer on Earth, then we know container.
Yeah, but I mean, if you got an open system, and it's inside a vacuum, it's no longer going to stay with the pressure inside. It's going to equalize into the surrounding system.
Exactly.
This is demonstratable.
And I think even in what was his name, Craig, yesterday was with your first debate with him was on about that it being a microsystem. That doesn't make a difference if it's a microsystem, and like you said, if it opens up into an isolated system, do you know what I mean? It's still it can't be a microsystem on its own, can it? If it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's calmed up a little bit.
Yes, summer has hit us all of a sudden. Oh,
That's it.
I
Well,
missed
that's
the winter already.
that. What really? That's your winter over?
Yeah,
Yeah, really. That's mental, man.
it's crazy. I think it was like 32 degrees again today.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. Honestly. Yeah, you've had winter for like what, a month at most?
No, man, we had it for like 3 months, I think.
Wow.
Barney, man.
It is.
Went even had a summer.
No.
I saw an interesting video recently of a guy doing an experiment in a vacuum chamber, testing how things would react in a vacuum chamber. He had some different. He had a cell phone in. He had a balloon. He had a some rubber bands,
Mhm.
beef. Yeah, beef, pork. He had some chicken skin, and he had some foil and everything. And you should see what happened to that stuff just
What-
from the
what-
radiation. He
have
even
you
tried to
Have you
mimic
got
the
a link
radiation.
for it?
Yeah, let me quickly get it for you guys.
Pretty cool to do that.
See if I can get it quickly. But it's good to see everybody here.
It
Yeah, I
is.
don't expect too many. Obviously, QE's streaming,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
but I'm not doing too long tonight either. I feel a bit rough, like feel a bit groggy.
So it's like weather, isn't it? When we get a little bit of heat, it's not a nice heat, is it? It's a humid, horrible, sticky heat.
Well, it's like sun's out now as it's time for the sun to set. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
glorious, blue sky, not a cloud, sun. But earlier on, it we're hammering it down.
Right, that's right.
They're saying the volume is low. Jeff
Yeah.
Conkle says the volume low.
They did say that. I mean, it was on the video, but I don't think it was low.
I-
When it,
There's
you know,
no I can really adjust.
You gonna want me to share the screen, or are you gonna share the screen for the?
You can share it if you want to,
I can.
if you know how to.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how to share. I hope I know how to share.
of course you do. Of course you do. You keep all that knowledge to yourself, flats. You never let us know anything.
I need to get another screen because it does me head in. Because like when you bring your share screen in on here,
Yeah.
it goes straight to like YouTube channel. You know what I mean, and I like to be in here to see what's going off as well. It
Yeah.
does me head in.
Sorry, just trying to wait for the adverts to finish one day.
Mm-hmm.
My chat's not working in here either.
I can see the chat. Well, the last
Oh.
one is into the break. Yeah, hold on.
Oh,
Oh, no,
last
look,
comment.
wrong way around. This one.
Let's have a look. Oh, tight.
Okay, share screen.
Hey Jeff, hey Skeptic, MIK Titan. My chat weren't working in Restream, like so.
Yeah, same guys. Hello, Mike, Jeff.
Mute.
Okay, you guys can see the screen, correct?
Hold on, have you muted?
Yeah, it's muted.
Have you got YouTube muted? 'Cause I'm getting
Yeah. I'm getting it. Yeah, definitely.
Speak Farzad.
Oh, okay.
It might be you, Farzad.
Me, but
PJ, you talk.
So mute myself.
Hello. It's still muted. It's still doubling. I mean, echoing.
Stop
'Cause
sharing.
because I'm muting myself as well.
It's sharing screen.
Darren is doing it for some reason.
It's sharing in tab.
Now we can't hear you.
No, I can't hear you at all, Farzad. I'm doing something with me.
No, I'm gonna share it without the audio on the video. Is that fine? Then I can just talk. I mean, you don't need
Alright.
to,
Yeah, go on then, that's fair.
because you obviously don't need to hear what he's saying.
Right.
Okay. But anyway, he's got 3 different type of blocks of wood. He's got a balloon, parsley, rubber band, a cell phone, beef, pork, chicken skin, a piece of potato, and 2 different type of aluminium or something, which is really interesting because when he puts it in the vacuum, he goes through quite a whole process. He leaves us for 24 hours, but he even puts a bulb in that gives this about that gives radiation that you'd expect from the sun.
Hmm.
So he's actually testing it out with the radiation with the vacuum, and he leaves it for 24 hours, and he makes it so you see there's throwing in liquid nitrogen to even cool it down so he can have a pure vacuum even. So he's making it as uncontaminated as possible, which is really interesting. Very nice setup. You can see the cell phones even on and everything, but look what happens when okay, this out with the vacuum.
Mm.
You can see it's a time lapse. Look how the things are bouncing around, moving
Wow.
around as everything's degassing and stuff as well. Because he just kept it at 24 hours in the vacuum. And I mean, look, he's not moving anything. He's just check it out. Yeah, everything's bouncing around and I have to reshuffle it to put it back and it keeps moving around. And then when he takes it out, it's insane. Then he takes it out, then he compares it with the controls that he had.
Wow.
And he says the interesting thing with the pieces of wood.
Oh, look at meat though.
Yeah, look at that meat. It burned to a crisp.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And mobile
And
phone.
it's rock hard. So he says he's talking about the coloring now of the wood. He says it didn't really change much, but he says that that piece of wood there, plywood.
Is it made it like balsa wood or something?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's plywood, and the one is oak, and the one is I can't remember. But anyway, he says it's literally light, like styrofoam. He says it feels like styrofoam. That's how light it is, like aerogel kind of thing,
Yeah.
which is the same wood, which is weird because it still holds its still strength.
Yeah.
The only thing is it is a bit softer, he says, when he scares it.
Wow.
So the vacuum definitely does do something to the degassing of the products.
Wow.
And then when he gets to, this is the aluminum foil. See how it folded, how it just started shriveling up. And I mean, that's the same foil that they supposedly used on the lunar modules.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is rubber bands. Okay, look when he starts stretching, how it's gonna tear. See, it's breaking.
Yeah. Usually that happens with rubber bands that have been in the sun for a long time or something like that.
Would you say if he wrapped meat up in foil, it'd still cook that meat?
It will, yeah. I think so.
So your guys in the little scaffolding and tinfoil creation on the way to the moon would have been cooked.
But you see, this is the interesting thing, though. What are the seals made from on the ISS? Apparently,
I thought they were rubber.
Rubber, yeah. And what happened to a rubber band that was just exposed to it for 24 hours? I mean, he could just pull it apart like brittle.
Like perishes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you have a leak, then you have a leak. Don't you?
Yeah. No, I guess you just got a leak.
You got a leak, yeah.
Don't matter because we're in a studio.
But I mean, what's interesting is how it burns as well. Everything burns up. Look at that. So yeah, he's gonna. The balloon did nothing. The balloon was just about the same, though. He says didn't really have much of a change. But look at this. This was a potato. It looks like a little mushroom.
Wow.
Look how easily it crumbles. It literally crumbles in his hand. Look at that. That's the other potato. It crumbles in his hand and he eats like potato. Just says it just tastes like really dry, burnt chip.
Wow.
That's insane.
All the moisture's out, as in like everything. And then he moves on to the pork. Look at the pork, how it breaks up. Look at this. This would be your body, guys.
Mini.
Look at that. That's the pork.
Wow.
Totally. It crumbles totally in the mouth. It's soft. So it tastes really bad, like burnt. And then he picks up the beef, does the same. It looks exactly the same. You see how it breaks through. He says the beef is like eating old used toilet paper.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The parsley also just crumbled in his hand, and that's this.
What about foam? Does it turn on or out? Was it
The
totally
phone?
naked?
No, it's totally naked. You'll see the
That's
phone now.
brilliant.
Isn't it? It's all cracked and
He even took the battery out and threw it outside. He was scared it was going to explode. There's the phone. It picks it up. See how it's check it out.
Wow.
That's what happened to the phone.
Wow.
It's
So, guys, when we asked about so-called the Tesla in space,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
yeah, think about that, guys.
Mm.
So I just thought that was very
Not
interesting.
just Tesla, like out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
Like
claiming this.
satellite and everything.
They're claiming this flying tin can's been up there for 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just find that very interesting.
I highly doubt that have got out like that up there in the first place, to be honest. But it'd be a wreck, wouldn't it? It's like almost like instant entropy on it, isn't it? It's like degraded, gone.
Yeah.
Shot to pieces. But yeah, that's a good find, that Fat Side. Very good find.
It is, definitely. That is a good one. Sorry about the dog barking.
See, this is why you never see them in this big vacuum chamber, innit? Testing in there. Like, I mean, why would you be testing in water when you're going into a vacuum?
Yeah, and we still wait. We're still waiting for. They were in for 24 hours in the vacuum chamber, by the way, guys.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So he left it for 24 hours. What's interesting, we're still waiting for them to show us footage of in the vacuum chambers, like the Sandusky, Ohio chamber, is rockets. They can't just test rockets for us in vacuum chambers. Why is that?
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You would just believe it.
Yeah.
Well, after what we've just seen there on that, it's a no-brainer for me. I don't think out would work.
No,
But I
definitely.
mean, that's just what you find. I find also very interesting. Look at like when the so-called astronauts come back and they're in the capsules and everything. Why hasn't any of that materials experienced anything that, like we just saw, what this guy was showing?
Right.
The degassing and all that would literally make everything so brittle, and it will be different. Yet it comes back just a bit burnt on the outside and perfect to be able to use again if they want to.
Yeah.
It it just fell to bits. They'd go to up and hatched and it'd all just come off in their hand and that, be knackered.
Yeah, imagine dropping that brittle piece of degassed metal at the speeds that they're letting it so-called fall down to the ocean. When it impacts something, don't you think it should just break apart? But yet it does nothing. It stays.
But like you said, these seals are a biggest problem. They'd have to have some kind of new technology for sealing.
Yeah. No, it's insane.
But I'm pretty sure the rubber on that, when Don Petty's looking at that cupula thing, pretty sure it says a rubber.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, brought back moon rocks with petrified wood, wasn't it? Wow.
There's no wonder moon rocks were petrified.
I mean, you see what happened to the park.
There were fresh grown wooden trees on moon when they got there, when they fetched them back the petrified rocks.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just mental to even consider it by now.
Titan. They have space Velcro tech that is easy superior to Home Depot Velcro. Well, look how much billions of dollars they spend to make plastic zip ties for the Mars rover.
Yeah. Wow. I know, yeah.
It cost billions of dollars just to go and put a logo on a plastic zip tie and say it's in space.
I know,
Lily,
isn't
the
it?
dog's starting to eat the shoes. Aye.
Oh,
We
we're glad that when he's past that bit, she just eats socks. Yeah. Eating the socks.
Just done a quick Google on it. We chose to make the seals out of silicon, a rubber-like material that can withstand the extreme temperatures experienced in space.
Silicone. I think silicone's going to be worse.
Oh,
'Cause
God.
the degassing is going to be much more extreme with silicone compared to normal rubber.
Yeah, it stinks silicon, doesn't it? You can smell gases
Oh yeah,
coming out of it as it's drying.
because it's
Oh,
chemical.
It's like
And that's the
vinegar.
thing. That's what I'm saying.
Um, like when it perishes, it sometimes it goes brittle, doesn't it? Like hard.
Hard, yeah, it'll crack. Definitely crack, and it'll be a little bit soft in the middle, and it'll just all crack all the way through, won't it?
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah, it's awful. It smells like vinegar, I think.
There's more holes to this space story than it's even.
Of course.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, think about it, the silicone's made out of chemicals. So as soon as it gets to the vacuum, those chemicals are going to try and separate and stuff, and it's going to degas, and then the silicone is going to work out worse than a normal rubber.
But what about like ISS? It has, it's like every 10, 14 minutes or something. There's a night and a sun, daytime, isn't there? It's constantly
heat, cold, heat, cold, heat, cold. Yeah,
it's going red hot and right. You know what I mean? What's it supposed to be made out of? Like RoboCop's leg? Yeah, it boggles mind but this is thing. Nobody considers this when you don't like look into these things. Like after you've been looking into all these things for like 5, 6, 7 years, it's just ludicrous. You know what I mean? It begs. It's just absolutely laughable. But this is my problem with all these ballers we deal with. They've been around these arguments for long enough. It's like there's definite dishonesty.
Of course it is, because they must see the logic in the argument.
Like an unwillingness to accept because they're so invested in idea of space travel.
Exactly. They want to go the little dream. You know what I mean? Of course, we all admit it. We all like science fiction. I still love science fiction. I just know it's at the end of the day when I'm watching a movie, that's where it ends at. I know there's not infinity out there. It's like vast amounts.
Like,
it's just
knowing that space is a lot of bunkum, don't take any enjoyment out of watching a film, does it? You know what I mean?
Of course not.
Like you say, I love them as well.
Exactly, because when you was fiction anyway, so it's more the anti-flat earthers or in the fundamentalists, isn't it, that just can't let go of that space dream. They want to be part of that movie. You know what I mean? They want to be Chewbacca.
I want to let me share my screen. I want to look a little bit at some of the people involved with NASA, like this Jack Parsons guy.
On today's show,
Jake Parsons.
I'll get bigger.
Alistair Crowley. It is.
Yeah, I just want to. I've got a little video to share, but this is Jack Parsons who were behind JPL. Let's have a look. Following some brief involvement with Marxism in 1939, Parsons converted to Thelema, the new religious movement founded by the English occultist Aleister Crowley. Together with his first wife, Ellen Northrop, Parsons joined the Agape Lodge, the California branch of the Thelemite Ordo Templi Orientis, in 1941 at Crowley's bidding. Parsons replaced Wilfred Talbot Smith as its leader in 1942 and ran the lodge from its mansion on Orange Grove Boulevard. Parsons was expelled from the JPL and Aerojet in 1944 owing to the lodge's infamous reputation and hazardous workplace conduct. They actually called them Suicide Squad. But what's interesting is they do this thing called Babylon Working, series of rituals intended to invoke the Thelemic goddess Babylon on Earth. I've got a little video to watch. Can you see my screen? Has it gone onto YouTube?
No, not yet. It's still on that article.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop sharing.
Yeah, it's still on Parsons. Yeah.
Sorry, I have to stop sharing and reshare. Supposed to just swap things, but it don't seem to want to do it.
Maybe you should just do what I do: share screen. And then it's
what,
just
entire
easier.
screen?
Yeah,
that's
share
what
the
I
entire
did other week though. And we kept getting audio chaos. Like,
Yeah.
So it seemed to work all right just sharing tab last week. So we'll stick to that.
Skeptic.
Can you see? Is it sharing now?
Not yet.
What?
Not yet.
It's not sharing YouTube.
No.
What the? Sorry about this, everybody. Like, but I ain't got a clue what I'm doing.
I know. LP, you abandoned us. We need our tech back.
This restream don't seem very clever to me.
Maybe I don't know. StreamYard. It's
Share screen. Share tab. Share. Right. What about now?
Yeah, that's working.
Yeah. Right.
Ooh, look at that symbolism.
Yeah. So I've skipped it, like, because it talks about him, you know, like in college and all that business, messing about with rockets. So I've skipped some of that.
Septagonal.
In the late 1930s, Parsons discovered the works of Aleister Crowley and told friends that he was in correspondence with him. Parsons was strongly attracted to Crowley's sex magic, and soon a colleague introduced him to Wilfred T. Smith, the leader.
I will just keep stopping it just in case I get any kind of stripe. It's funny, like, when you look into these people, like when you look into Newton, he was involved in a cult. You know, how come they're all involved in a cult? You know,
Sell their soul to the devil, innit? For fame, for brains, for money, for whatever.
See, all this space, evolution, globe Earth, it's all into me. I mean, we can't even get his head around how deep it goes, because it don't come from men's minds, does it? It comes from like fallen angels.
Yeah, it's all
demons.
perverted. That's why the guy's talking about sex magic.
Yeah,
It's all perverted stuff.
It's an amalgam of everything out there. Nothing of it, none of it is good. It's all an amalgam of evil upon evil to make more evil.
This guy here on screen looks like him off Harry Potter. You know, and he's got head
of the Agape Lodge of the Ordo Templi Orientis. Parsons and his wife Helen began attending meetings at the lodge's Gnostic Mass, Crowley's version of the Catholic Mass that Crowley said was corrupted. Parsons advanced in his occult knowledge and learned astral travel and other skills.
Ooh, astral travel.
He says, Aleister Crowley says, "Do what thou wilt," and you think that everybody else is all messed up.
But you see what he was talking about, astral projection. And what do the guys from Glowbusters push?
Yeah, same.
Astral projection.
And this log, take heed, please. Take heed if you're listening.
Yeah. Yep. Astral projection is very evil, guys.
Yeah.
Because it is, you shouldn't be trying to come out your body, you know what I mean?
No, you're giving doorway to the demons to come in.
Mm-hmm. And he thinks that's okay. It's not.
I mean, why would you even try it? I mean, what if you can't get back in your body? Like, what happens then? Like,
I had a friend that the first time he tried it, he didn't want to do it again because he said he felt as if when he came back, he had no control of his body. He almost felt like he was paralyzed. He felt literally like he was being tormented.
Wow. Well, and he did. I dare say he was being tormented. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a spiritual battle.
What if you leave your body and a demon gets in your body?
And he's not letting you back. You know what I mean? It's crazy stuff. Crazy.
You'll be surprised how much people are demon possessed that's tried things like astral projection, or that's done a Ouija board rubbish. You know, all the cultic practices.
Yeah,
because they leave open doors for the demons to come in.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, when we spoke to Lucian about things like this? He listened.
We were talking about it, weren't he? Astral projection, talking about.
I think he listened to us. He took heed.
Yeah,
but
he did.
When he took to, like, when it's like the Dislord, he's like, no, he's not listening to us. He's just fighting against it. But yeah, at least Lucian listened. I mean, we witnessed to him, and he listened. You know what I mean? That was a good thing. That was a good thing.
That's all you can do. Keep telling people, you know. And if they've got ears to hear, they'll listen, or if they have a bad experience, they might listen, but that
Yeah.
might be too late then, you know what I mean? But see these here, Flatzide, these cross keys,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
they're on Dell's tattoos.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I'm going to be doing a video with all his tattoos and the symbolism because he's even got skull and bones on. He's got the Leviathan. He's got wow.
They have a lot of
He's-
weird stuff
He's
like
got everything. Let's put it this way. He's got everything.
skills. Parsons entered into a double life. By day, he was a brilliant, successful rocket scientist, earning large sums of money, regarded as well-educated and cultured by his peers. By night, he was an occultist and a magician, participating in rites that his peers would have found shocking and bizarre. Parsons became dedicated to bringing Crowley's new Eon into manifestation. He and Helen turned their bedroom in their mansion into a temple and amassed a library of occult works. Parsons rented out rooms in his mansion to occultists, offending neighbors with frequent loud parties involving strange rituals.
Speaking
A
of
thrill
this,
seeker, Parsons engaged in
me and my wife had a weird encounter. We were house sitting someone's house a few years back,
Right.
and all of a sudden, next door, we started hearing some weird things going along. They were busy having a ritual in the kitchen.
Wow.
It
Wow.
almost looked like a blood sacrifice that they were doing. They got the salt, the candles, and everything. They started going there with the robes and
Wow.
singing in Latin and stuff. It was really freaky stuff.
Yeah.
it's more rife than you think.
Yeah, it's all over.
Close.
Near, next village on from my mum's is quite a big woods, and there's a lane that goes through it. My auntie lived at other side of woods, and she'd been at my mum's this one night and drove home and rung my mum as soon as she got in, and she says as she were driving through the lanes, she seen them all, in long capes and hoods up and that, all piling into the woods.
Mm.
And
That's crazy. Man.
that's recent. That
It's crazy though. I mean, it is like you say. It's more rife than what you think. It's just it's done in places that isn't readily available to people, or you wouldn't think of going to. But if you went to investigate, you'll be surprised at how quickly you'll find it.
and
Yeah.
it's pushed in it. You know what I mean? Like, look at all the films with witchcraft and that. That get young'uns into thinking that it's good to delve into.
Aye.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. They try and cover up as just do white magic. White magic is good.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no magic's good. None at all. It's an abomination to God. You know what I mean? It's witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
increasingly dangerous occult rituals, which he acknowledged might have undesirable effects, such as the creation of permanent haunting phenomenon. He liked to invoke elementals, some of which were lingering and troublesome in the bedroom temple. Banishing rituals were conducted frequently. Rumors circulated that Parsons was leading a black magic cult. There were police investigations, but no actions against Parsons was ever taken. Parsons became one of Crowley's main sources of funding in the United
Oh, look at that. That's Egyptian garb, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It is.
Yep. Yep.
Some Egyptian took great. Right.
And Alison Crowley was very into the Egyptian
Yeah.
pyramids and secret tombs.
Ra and all that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, he was into that sex magic and all that, wasn't he? Doesn't matter what it wasn't. It was with whether it was with women and children. All of it, all intermingled and all mixed together, incestuous as well. He did everything. Do what thou wilt.
Yeah.
Horrible guy, horrible guy.
And he was involved with that Parsons as well, that L. Ron Hubbard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That Scientology business.
Mm-hmm. Disgusting people.
United States and funneled large sums of money to him in England through Crowley's outer-head successor, Carl Germer. This arrangement lasted until Crowley's death in 1947. Germer despised Wilfred Smith and succeeded in influencing Crowley to retire him from the Agape Lodge. Leadership was taken over by Parsons. Meanwhile, Helen had become Smith's lover and bore him a son in 1943. Parsons divorced her the same year and entered into a relationship with her younger sister, or half-sister, Betty, whose real name was Sarah. He told others that he had gotten rid of Helen by means of witchcraft. Betty was 18 years old 11 years younger than Parsons. He encouraged her to take.
I just want to answer this question in chat. Where do you think Flat Earth would be nowadays if Eric Dubé didn't exist? I think there wouldn't be any change at all. There were quite as many other people talking about Flat Earth at the same time Eric Dubé started talking about it. So
Yeah, he just got mentioned more. That's all.
Yeah,
It was just been someone else that's mentioned more.
exactly. If it wasn't him, it would have been somebody else. It was just that video at the time took off. Had a lot of proofs in it, and there was 200 of them, so it took off. But if it wasn't him, somebody would have put 50 proofs in there, and it would have been just as good, just as well viewed. I think, you know.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
but
Hey Stephanie, just JP. Thanks for coming.
okay, I gotta go. You guys
gotta
have
go.
a great evening further.
Yeah, cheers and thanks for sharing that vacuum stuff. That were spot on.
Awesome. Glad you enjoyed.
Absolutely. It was good. Nice one, Vlad. Bless you, man.
Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow.
Take care, mate.
Bye bye.
Blessings.
Take other lovers, and he engaged in affairs himself. He began to use drugs frequently in his magical work. In April of 1945, Parsons met L. Ron Hubbard, who became the founder of the Scientology cult.
There you go.
I just said it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I said it. Just as you.
Look at cheek on him to have a cross on top.
Do you know what I mean? A bloody cross. I mean, what has it got to do with Christ at all?
Nothing.
What? Nothing at all. These bloody stupid alien demons called Pherons. I can't remember what they're called. But you pay them to get these alien demons exorcised from yourself. I mean, and I can't remember the name. Phenon. I really can't. Someone in the chat will know.
Hollywood's big into this stuff and all. You know, Tom Cruise, he's right into it.
Yeah. John Travolta, his ex, and all that. I can't remember the name.
I mean, people are saying Flat Earth's a cult. This stuff's a cult.
This is terrible, and this is a deadly, deadly cult. You know, you speak out, and I mean, you know, I'm not going to say too much. But you know what happens.
Hubbard liked Parsons and moved in with him and Betty. Hubbard and Betty began an affair. In a letter to Crowley, Parsons enthused about Hubbard, noting that he had no formal training in magic, but possessed a keen natural ability for it. Despite Parsons' sexual open-mindedness, he resented Hubbard's affair with Betty, and he conducted a ritual to overcome his jealousy. He told Crowley that, though he bore Betty and Hubbard no ill will, he desired to have a female magical partner on his own terms. He resolved to summon magically an elemental in a female form who would serve as his ideal companion and partner. The ritual was supposed to be performed alone, but Parsons performed it in the presence of Hubbard, who acted as a scribe. The Babylon working, as the event became known, began on January 4th, 1946, and was repeated several times until January.
I mean, this is some sick stuff, isn't it?
It is. It's disgusting, man.
And I hope you're listening, Ballers, because these are people behind your space garb.
Yeah, exactly.
January 15th. Babylon is the ultimate desirable harlot, inspired by the Enochian magic of John Dee and Edward Kelly. The elaborate working involved numerous invocations of spirits, Enochian calls, a wand talisman magically charged with semen and blood, and magical masturbation, that is, sexual arousal without release.
I do apologize for this type of talk, but
it's truth. But it's truth at the end of the day.
It's truth. It needs to be heard, you know. But that's some sick stuff. I mean, it's like that spirit cooking woman.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a look at her after.
Aye.
So that the energy is absorbed back into the body. Parsons specified that the manifested elemental would have red hair and green eyes. As of January 15th, the results were disappointing. Only a violent windstorm would emerge. In February 1946, a female artist from New York named Marjorie Cameron appeared, and Parsons recognized her as a result of his summoning. She was red-haired with green eyes. Parsons described her as strong-minded and determined, with strong masculine characteristics and a fanatical independence. She claimed to have visions of the coming apocalypse and created artwork based on her occult beliefs. Parsons and Marjorie performed sex magic for...
I do apologize.
Yeah.
several weeks to invoke Babylon. Parsons informed Crowley in cryptic terms of his progress and impending success. Crowley dismissed it as an ill-intentioned effort to create a moon child, a magical child. In late February, Marjorie split from Parsons and returned to New York, where she discovered she was pregnant. She kept the pregnancy secret from Jack and later had an abortion. Parsons performed the ritual alone to evoke Babylon. He said the presence of Babylon commanded him to write. The result was a 77-verse.
Yeah, I heard that this was done somewhere around what they call Area 51.
Oh, aye.
I don't know if there's any truth to that, like, but
Sure
it's
not.
quite strange that a lot of this UFO demon phenomenon surrounds Area 51.
Area 51, aye. Right, you're right.
Because aliens aren't aliens, they're clearly demonic.
Demonic, of course. Demon. Same as ghosts and things like that. I think if you see things like that, then it's a demon. It's demons or demon influences of some sort.
Yep. Liber 49, which Parsons viewed as the fourth chapter to Crowley's The Book of the Law. He also took it as further indication that he was to create a magical child into which Babylon would incarnate and fulfill Crowley's prediction of the birth of the one mightier than all the kings on earth. Only 2 chapters of Parsons' original book survived. In March 1946, Marjorie returned to Parsons and began living with him. They resumed sex magic, and Hubbard served as the scryer to convey messages from Babylon. The rituals went on for some time. Crowley reacted to this with concern, warning Parsons not to be too attached to Marjorie.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Spherical Cow. Thanks for coming.
Cow. Yeah. How you doing, man? How you doing, Jeff?
That is a mod.
We still don't get the spherical cow thing. I haven't got a clue what it's about.
Yeah, Spherical Cow. Do you actually know what it means?
Yeah.
What that baller on about. That joke. Were you there? I don't know if you were there, like.
I don't think he was there, but we mentioned it yesterday to him on Fletcher's show. So I mean, he's got the name Spherical Cow, so I dare say he must know it. It must be something it's an old physics joke, right? Okay, got it. But we didn't get it. We didn't get it at all. Yeah. So yeah, is that why you called yourself it? Because I don't mean you're an old joke. Oh wow, that came out wrong, didn't it? Sorry, dude.
You're digging yourself in there, PJ.
Definitely.
Was Barbara Bush Crowley's daughter? Well, that wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yes.
Back to it.
He quoted Eliphas Levi saying that the love of the Magus for such things is insensate and may destroy him. The same month, Parsons stepped down as the head of the Agape Lodge and turned it over to Roy Leffingwell. The Babylon working failed. Marjorie did not have a magical child, but 9 years later, she claimed to be Babylon herself and to have given birth on the astral plane to a magical child.
See, like the claim that it didn't work or whatever, but weren't it like around this time that like this UFO phenomenon started? People started seeing flying saucers, and
that's right. Well, didn't it? It was just like it came all of a sudden, like you said at that point. I mean, there might have been a few sightings and all that beforehand, but it seemed to all come together at a certain point. Other things were happening, other kind of supernatural phenomena. You know what I mean?
While the Babylon working was going on, Parsons, Betty, and Hubbard pooled money to purchase a yacht with the intentions of reselling it for profit. Parsons put up most of the funds. Betty and Hubbard deserted Parsons and left in the yacht. Parsons told Crowley he used magic to force them to return. Within the first few hours of their departure, Parsons said he performed the full evocation to Batsabel, the spirit of Mars, causing the yacht to be struck by a sudden squall. The severity of the storm ripped off the yacht's sails and forced the return to port. Parsons seized the damaged boat, but lost most of the money he had invested. Parsons retreated from magic and focused instead on his rocketry career. He was targeted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and in 1948 lost a security clearance. FBI documents describe Parsons' magical activities as a mythic love cult, but the agency maintained that the real reason for their investigation was his ties to known communists. Jack Parsons was fired from the...
Oh, look at that flat Earth.
Look at that, super duper. Bit of topography as well.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, they are Richard the proper sick.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, there isn't a derogatory enough word to say about him. I mean, even Inferno, which means of hell, isn't apt enough, you know. So like Abomination, it just doesn't seem strong enough. None of it seems strong enough for what they do. So yeah, it's sick is as good as any, I suppose. You know what I mean?
It's all sick. Heliocentrism. It's infested with a cult. You know what I mean? It's all it's rebellion. It's all a rebellion to God.
And that is in the Bible is witchcraft as well. Rebellion.
Yeah.
Is witchcraft.
The
Is that
JPL. The FBI was still investigating Parsons for his potential ties to the Communist Party when he took documents home from his new employer, the Hughes Aircraft Company. Jack explained to the FBI that he took the documents home to give examples of his past work so he could apply for a new job in Israel. Jack was immediately fired by the Hughes Aircraft Company and was blacklisted from ever getting another aeronautical job. Rumors circulated that Jack was being spied on by the FBI since the mid-1940s because of his occult ties to the Aleister Crowley group. The FBI considered the subversive group dangerous and waited for Jack to slip up. By 1951, Jack Parsons' career was over, and his marriage was just as dead. The only work he could get was an explosives consultant for Hollywood Films by day and a gas station clerk by night. In June of 1952, Jack received an order to create multiple explosives for a film shoot. The shooting schedule was tight, so Jack had to conjure up these explosives quickly. The filmmakers told Jack to be careful. An hour later, his lab exploded. Still alive with half his face missing, the film crew rushed Jack to the hospital, where he died several hours later. Jack Parsons, dead at 37. His death was ruled an accident, but people started asking questions. How did a man with so much knowledge and so many years of experience in mixing chemicals and creating bombs screw up this badly? Friends and family had a hard time believing Jack could be so careless. Was Jack Parsons suicidal? And if he was, wouldn't he just build a better bomb that would end his life instantly without having to endure hours of pain?
See, you mess with this stuff and it can bring bad into your life.
Of course. That's all. It won't bring any good because leaving yourself open to like demonic influence. That's for sure.
And was Jack Parsons murdered? There were speculations that some people in the government wanted Jack dead. This was the beginning of the Cold War, and Jack Parsons was a liability because of his secret knowledge of the fledgling U.S. space program, NASA, especially after he wanted to flee the United States and potentially sell his services to the evil USSR. For a man who started humanity's larger steps towards space travel, he was an embarrassment to the aeronautics community. They didn't want to tarnish their image and credibility by associating themselves with an occultist like Jack Parsons, so they kept his involvement hidden from the public. Later on, NASA would name a moon crater after Parsons, but it would be on the dark side of the moon. His ultimate goal was to launch mankind to the stars and create an age of enlightenment. By the late 1960s, it looked like all that sex magic might have worked.
You can only imagine all this, these rituals we're doing and that. We're just to get in contact with demons or angels or whatever. And this is where they got the knowledge from for it, you know.
Of course, that's what it's it. Yeah. I mean, doesn't it say something like that in Enoch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fallen angels mated with women and created giants
Yeah.
whose spirits are demons.
Yeah.
But them said fallen angels taught mankind all, how to war, how to make stuff, how to beautify it, and astrology, astronomy, all sorts of stuff. Like
Yeah.
man ain't come across things through their own.
No, never. Yeah, definitely not.
And that's that.
Oh, groovy. Yeah, man. So it's what they're taking part in every day, isn't it? Whether they believe it's evil or not, it is. It doesn't stop the truth being the truth, whatever you believe. But yeah, be wary of that crap.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were talking to Disc the other week. It's like it's not out of.
Why does it sound like I can hear an echo?
Oh, I can't hear an echo.
No.
No, not on this one. Can you guys hear an echo in chat?
Hold on a minute. What's my YouTube stream then? I can't hear it now, right?
All right,
I'm not really keen on this restream, me.
It seems a little basic. It doesn't seem to let you do what you want to do. If you're good, now I hear an echo, a little one.
Really?
Yeah, I just seen you like do a fast forward move, like yeah, it was cool. Caught up with itself.
Fiber, how's it going?
Fiber.
So what do you think to that then, guys? I mean, that's some sick stuff in it. What we're going off at beginnings of NASA.
It is. I mean, look who they're built on. Who NASA's built on. It was Nazis, wasn't it?
Oh, I want to get into that, but I want to share this as well. Share screen again. This Crowley guy who Parsons were involved with summoned this guy.
That's right.
Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And look at it, looks like a grey alien, You're not telling me this into demon.
Exactly, and it's all coinkydinks and stuff.
And even Nazis were into a cult, weren't they? Thule Society, something like that. I mean, they were into all the cult and that. And
well, yeah, I mean, even the NASA symbol is from Hinduism, isn't it? No, the SS sort of thing, and it's ran the other way, but it comes from the swastika. Yeah,
it's just funny that they're doing all this occultic stuff, summoning demons. Crowley draws a picture of a demon, and it looks like an alien.
Alien grey.
And, you get this. Hold on. Share screen again. What's it called? Share. It's a nightmare sharing on this. This is off Chuck Middleton's channel, so
okay, nice one.
I will post
the
linkage, and if you're not already subscribed to Chuck, subscribing because he puts some good videos out.
Yeah, he does
a lot of truth stuff. Yeah, give him a sub.
What's that? Trying to get it, but yeah, cool.
Right, am I sharing, PJ?
Aye.
Well, I just encourage everyone to look up Bubbles in Space, #Bubbles in Space. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been 45.
Wrong video.
You're definitely, definitely sharing, but not the right video.
Wow, I've lost it.
Okay.
I've got that many tabs.
Is that what it is? Loads of tabs open.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I've lost that tab. I'm gonna have to look for it again.
Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely still into the cult. You see that. You see the astronauts sitting there doing the little what would you call it, handshake wavy thing, all in a circle, joined up and doing all the symbolism. Yeah, they still do the little rituals and stuff as well before they allegedly go to the depths of that big swimming pool they go to.
Right. Tanning my head this with tabs.
I've got all this to look forward to.
It's a nuisance.
Yeah.
So this is a woman who worked with Werner von Braun. So listen to what she has to say.
Brown in the U.S., the father of rocketry, he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. And they're all lies. There is no...
Nice.
See, it's all pushing towards alien, demon, deception.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the news already, isn't it? I mean, people seeing aliens and all that in the backyard and stuff. I mean, Dale Lives talking about that. You know what I mean? On his channel, RV. It's all been prophesied about, and it's all been. You can see it. You can see it all coming together in the news and the media and everything. You know, and people have said it for a while. I mean, not just us, but others have said it for a while, and it's coming together. You see exactly what's happening right in front, played right in front of your eyes. You know what I mean? And that's the way it's got to go. And there's no stopping it, is there?
I just want to share one more video, just to totally kill idea that space is real. Let me find it.
I mean, if anybody in chat ever, I mean, even thinks that space is real at this point, then they haven't listened for the past 7, 8 years, 9 years now, is it? At all. But nobody in this day and age, baller or not, should believe in space.
It's mental.
Just by the second law.
I can't find this video. I had all these set up in order. Now, I'm sure YouTube or technology interferes with it, man. It's crazy.
Oh, guaranteed. They've got an agenda as well, haven't they?
Right. Share screen.
You tired?
This is also off Chuck's channel, but I mean, we know space as a vacuum can't exist next to an atmosphere. We know that's bunkum.
Of course.
But then you've got, on top of that, you've got all NASA faking business. And this, for me, once you see this video, I mean, it's a game over. I don't know how you can even try and defend this.
Oh, yeah.
Hear it in background.
Ridiculous, that one, isn't it?
Look.
Ground control to Major Tom.
I mean, that's game over for me.
And then he passed. Is that the same one where he passes on the baseball cap? He misses it. No.
I mean, ballers. How do you explain this?
But you can actually see the heart.
Not to mention
Like
this
this.
guy. Not to mention this guy's moving stuff that isn't there with his hands because he's obviously looking at some kind of
Yeah.
I don't know,
Augmented reality monitor thing.
augmented reality crap. But I mean, they're supposed to be in free fall, 0G, whatever you want to call it. No need for an harness.
Yeah. No, he doesn't need a harness.
And there's countless videos like this showing some kind of mess up with CGI or augmented reality, or we can see cables pulling on the clothes, even seat cables, like in this instance. I mean, wow. For me, you've got to be a complete moron to believe this stuff. It's ridiculous.
Of course. I'm not a ghoster. That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to believe that people still.
I mean, exactly, Richard Jeff. I mean, once you see that, I mean, wow. How can you even defend that crap, you know?
You can't.
So you've got natural law saying space can't be real.
Yeah.
You've got a tin can floating around in vacuum, what we've just seen with what Flatzoid shared, showing you these things probably won't even hold up in a vacuum. And then you've got supposed astronauts on eye wires.
Yeah.
Augmented reality and CGI. I mean, wow. By this point, to believe that space is real is just stupid. And all ballers have got, you know, they've got out.
And if you listen to the testimonies of these astronauts, not one of them can agree on what space is like, whether you see the stars, whether you don't, whether you can go through the Van Allen belt, whether there is a Van Allen belt.
Well, that's another one, isn't it? You know,
whether exactly. They've admitted they haven't been past the Van Allen belt to the moon. They says so far they can only go in low Earth orbit. Was that what they said?
Yeah.
Is that what they said? They haven't been to the moon, even though this is like it was 50 years after the moon landings.
And then you've got that old guy, that astronaut, saying, guy says, well, what about Van Allen radiation? And he looks at him going out like, what are you talking about?
Like, what was that?
We must have gone through him then. It's another dump feet, isn't it? Like,
isn't it? Yeah, we must have just sailed on through that, you know what I mean?
Radiation belts. Well, we must have gone through them, you know. It's like, wow.
Yeah. The tinfoil we had for our machines back then was amazing stuff. Better than Baker foil any day, you know what I mean? It's crazy stuff.
Did you see that video Level Earth Observer put up with that?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
Let me get that one.
Go for it, dude.
It's like tinfoil on steroids, man. Level Earth Observer. I mean, Level Earth Observer on his own crushes space, doesn't he?
Oh, he's brilliant. I mean, I'd like to see him do a debate, but he's not. I don't think he's interested in debating. He just does what he does. He puts the truth out there. He classes himself as a demonstrable realist, which is a good enough. He wants to be classed as that. Brilliant, which is true. It's true.
I'll better play this all the way through because he's not going to give me a strike.
No.
But I'm going to show this one video and then we're calling it a day. We've been going an hour. I said we're only doing an hour tonight because I don't feel right clever.
We've been over an hour anyway.
Lost my YouTube feed again now.
Not you.
I'm going to have to get another monitor because I can't be doing this. It's a nightmare.
I'm using my TV at the minute for the second monitor. I haven't set up that other computer yet. I'd probably use that as a second monitor, couldn't I?
Hey, Nathan.
Nathan,
you said he was playing a movie on, yeah.
Arnold. Free Lightning as well. Good evening, mate.
SE Lightning, how's it going? Have you come to see me bad streaming skills, Nathan?
Yeah, he's just got to win you back your sound now. Right, well, you know that, don't
You
you?
can't whinge about my sound.
Yeah, you'll get a full FAD tomorrow on Michael Khan's sound. Yeah, I see.
But yeah, thanks for coming anyway, Nathan.
Yeah, man.
How's it going, Sea Lightning? Been a while.
No, all good. Yeah, excellent, man.
That's about the only thing that's good. My sound. I can't get my head around this sharing screen business. It's doing my head in. Anyway, we'll watch this. This is funny. Russia's moon landing madness.
Yeah, man.
Today I'm going to have a quick look at Russia's attempt to go to the moon. The mission is known as Luna 25, supposedly launched yesterday. But already we've got problems left, right and centre. So let's just have a quick look. Get to look at some of the build quality here. Now, if we were to judge the build quality from these cartoons, and we were to base all our opinions about this lunar lander from Russia on these cartoons, I wouldn't be too disappointed if I was a space fan. They don't look too bad. The problem is when we actually see the lunar lander. Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan. Flatzoid shared this earlier. You need to check it out. Some guy with a vacuum chamber putting like meat and telephones in it and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, really good, man.
Get that link out.
Another nice cartoon, and then we get to see the real thing.
Look at this.
That makes India's lunar lander look like a beautiful piece of art. Look here.
Very decorative, isn't it?
That doesn't look
There's more
anything
foil
like
than
the
scaffolding.
cartoon.
Yeah, it's very
The
devout.
cartoon looked pretty cool. This, I'm afraid to tell you
Looks
guys,
like my mother's Christmas turkey.
you don't really need to hear it from me. It's obviously a terrible space prop stroke art project.
I mean, after what we've just seen with that guy with that vacuum chamber, yeah, how does this hold up to it? You know, it's absolutely stupidity.
Dear, oh dear. More angles of this silly Luna 25 lander. Then we get this shot, what appears to be the team. And what's strange, when we do zoom in, I called it like an art project. And it would seem we've got nothing but young people here.
Looks like they've built it in a school kitchen.
Yeah. They're just putting the last of the cells
Involved in this silly, terrible looking art project.
Is that a load of,
No one looks impressed. You can see they even got the dinner lady out here in the middle. She doesn't look impressed. She's looking at all that tin foil thinking, I could have done so much more. You could have, my dear. That is terrible, lads.
That's awful, isn't it?
Shocking.
Hey, man.
Now we start to see them load this work of art onto the rocket that's going to take this beautiful bit of technology, supposedly, to the moon. I think we get to see the rocket now. So the lunar lander's been put in the fairing, which is the white bit on the left-hand side. And of course, we get to see this Soyuz rocket here in all its glory here before it goes to the moon. More shot being transported to the launch site. I believe this is a shot. Yeah, this is a shot actually at the launch site. And I think the next shot, I believe, is where they now take off and supposedly head to the moon. And this is where the problems begin. Okay? See if you can spot the obvious problem here as we go from this shot to the launch. We'll watch the rocket take off and I'll come back. Okay?
You're kidding me. You're kidding me. You're absolutely kidding me. That is not meant to be a continuation of that, is it?
Change colour.
Thy goodness. That really, they can't expect. That's got to be put there intentionally. That's just ridiculous. I mean, That I mean, with the gold, with the gold. I know from a grey one to a white one with the orange stripe, and it's even got an orange stripe through it, and it's a white with a yellow stripe, and it's a different shape of rocket. Wow, they are a bunch of rockets, aren't they? But I mean, what do they do? Right, people tear apart the LEM from the 1960s. The moon landing thing. They tear apart. People have been able to tear apart what it looks like with the tinfoil, the Scotch tape, and all that. So what do? They don't try and improve it. They double down and give it gold tape. That's it. Gold tinfoil instead of silver and gold and Scotch tape. They just tidy it up a little bit, but they double down and use more tinfoil.
So did you know gold tinfoil is especially for vacuums?
Go faster. It's like go faster strike, isn't it? Can't believe that. Can you believe that? You have to do that. I expect to believe that. Wow.
I do love a good firework display.
Absolutely.
But there's an obvious problem here.
And that is all they are. Glorified fireworks, you know.
Well, that's what they are. That's what they are. That's what
you, I suspect, would have spotted it. Let's go back. Is the Soyuz rocket that the lunar lander was attached to? Is the Soyuz rocket that we just saw take off just supposedly going to the moon? See the problem? Two totally different rockets.
And then it
the
takes
rocket
off.
we saw the lunar lander attached to isn't the rocket we saw take off that was sighted as going to the moon. That rocket is white.
Yeah.
The rocket we saw the lunar lander loaded to in the fairing is grey. All right, it has white fairing, but even the fairing is different. You've got ribs at the bottom of it where the fairing attaches to the rocket body, and at the end, the actual nose of the fairing is quite round. You then go to this rocket, there's no ribs where the fairing champers into the actual rocket, and the top of the fairing, essentially the nose of the rocket, is quite flat in comparison to this one. The grey rocket had the lunar lander loaded to it, yet the rocket that's supposedly...
It's what you call a stub-nose rocket.
Aye.
...going to the moon isn't the rocket that the lunar lander is attached to. You see the obvious problems with this silliness yet again?
Wow.
And this silliness ain't over. It's a side-by-side.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
There's the grey rocket at the launch pad.
Unbelievable.
Let's head back to the footage anyway, because like I say, this silliness isn't over yet.
This to me is how they hoodwink the people who are working on it. You know, they think it goes in. Like, look at your Phil Bell. I've put satellites in space. It might have worked on them. He hadn't put them in space.
Of course,
you know. You could see it like these guys see it go into a rocket, and then at last minute, it's a quick switcher on launch pad, and that goes into sea, and they've got another lander for another day.
That's right. That's right. They don't see it. They're blinded by their own.
So fast forward the Russian firework display to here, okay?
Номер 12210 и космического аппарата Луна-Глоб выведен на опорную орбиту.
And then we get shown this obvious cartoon, and then we come to the next bit. I can't get a definite answer on this next clip we're about to see. I think people are too embarrassed to answer. I don't know if Russia are actually citing this next clip as real footage or not. Like I say, I can't get anyone to answer. I think if it is being cited, people are too embarrassed to answer. Because obviously this is a blatant cartoon. But check the next shot out. Joking, right?
Wow. Amazing.
And then we get shown their flight profile.
Oh, slingshot.
This is just silly in itself, because Russia have only just supposedly left yesterday.
And
yet they're going to arrive there before India or at the same time. So if that's the case, why didn't India use the same flight profile? It's all silliness anyway. They can't get their pantomimes together. But Russia have got a bit of a problem with their lunar mission. They haven't even got the lunar lander on board the rocket they've sent. Just silliness of the highest order. And let's not forget this silly footage. 2 secs. So early indicators would suggest this Russian Luna 25 moon landing is going to be an absolute giggle fest. Who knows where their lunar lander is? It's certainly not heading towards the moon. It's on a different rocket. And then we get to see absolute gems like this. Oh, I can't wait. The mainstream are reporting
Is
on
that
this,
supposed to be
who's
travelling
gonna
that
win
way
the
to
space
moon like
race.
that?
But anyone with the
I
slightest
don't know. I mean, it looks
discernment.
like a distended submarine.
Wow. I mean, look at that. That's, well, says it all.
Really
mate.
looks at
Says
this
it
in a
all.
totally different manner. Who's going to give us the most giggles? I can't wait. India or Russia?
Wow.
But yeah,
It's crazy,
people
isn't it?
think this, and people think this stuff's real.
Madness.
Absolutely
Dude.
mental.
Madness.
So, I hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, people who are watching.
I did. It
I
was
know
all
I'm
good.
not. I know I'm not one of the best streamers yet, but I'm trying.
He's a good streamer. Everybody. It's all good. It's all good. There's never any dead there, man.
You have all these good intentions before you start streaming, and then when you start streaming, no, it works.
It comes together. It comes together, man.
Yeah,
It's all good.
there's a time like. But yeah,
And
yo,
it's always-
Lumpy.
Oh yeah, Lumpy. And it's always good to see you turns up, man. Like Lumpy. Nice one, Lumpy.
I appreciate all you guys for coming. Thank you so much. At least people are watching, and I'm not streaming to myself.
Yeah, all right, man. And we always go on longer than we intend to.
Yeah. Next week, I won't be streaming because I'm visiting my mum. So
Like I said, you'll have to get me trained up and doing it so when these things happen, I'll stream instead. You know what I mean?
yeah, you could always have a go.
We always have a go by next week if we want to. If we want to take a day out or something and train me up to do it, then could probably give it a go, innit? Give it a go. Maybe it'll be a disaster, but as long as it's a disaster with a couple of people watching, it'll be all right. You know what I mean? I don't care. Let's give it a go.
If one person saw it and come to realization that space were fake and globe ain't real, then it's worth it, you know.
That's right, man. That's right. That's
right. I'm not doing this because I want to be a YouTuber or out like that. Just want to try and do my part.
All right, man. And that's it. That's all we can do is get the truth out there, like we're all doing. You know what I mean? Well, not us all, obviously. But
thanks, Skeptic. Really appreciate it, mate. I appreciate all of you coming, and I can't believe you've come, Nathan. Thanks, man.
Yeah, honoured, man. Honoured for all you to be here. But, yeah, man. Nice to see you all.
Maybe one day I'll be as good as you, Nathan, but I doubt it.
Well.
So that's it, guys. Thanks for coming. Love you all. Remember, Jesus is the truth. Take care.
Absolutely. It was good seeing you all.